Right. Hi, everyone. This is the workshop for practice question 1, right, related to the lecture 1 and lecture 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief overview for the from the lecture 1 and lecture 2, and then we are going to solve the practice question together. I'm not going to solve all the questions, so only the selected ones, right? Okay. And if you have any questions, just send the questions in the chat, or you can ask directly, right? Okay, so topic 1, lecture 1 from 2nd of October. We all know that there are two ways of quoting the interest rate, quoting the exchange rates, right? There's direct quotation and indirect quotation, okay? So meaning that we are expressing one thing in two different ways. So we have GBP equal to 2 USD, meaning we can write GBP USD equal to 2. So here GBP is in denominator, USD is in numerator. That means that 1 GBP is equal to 2 USD, right? But there is another way we can write the same thing, meaning that we can write the USD and GBP, right? So that means that now we want to calculate $1 US is equal to how many pounds. So we are here. What we do is that we are simply going to get the reciprocal of 1 over GBP USD, and that will give us the $1 equal to 0.5 pound, right? So these are two ways of expressing the same thing. Second, direct versus indirect in US with transaction cost. So this is from page 37 to 40 from topic 1 slide. Let's say we know the bid price of GBP USD equal to 1 and ask price of GBP USD is equal to 2. Remember, we only have to think about from the bid and ask price from the dealer point of view, right? So if we say that from dealer point of view, what is the bid price of GBP USD? That means that the dealer is buying GBP, 1 GBP, right, and selling USD. So from the dealer perspective, he's buying GBP, so that is the bid price, right? And from the dealer perspective, we're saying that he is selling, so he is selling the GBP and USD, right? So here we will have for the ask price, right? So foreign exchange dealers buy 1 British pound by selling 1 USD, or here we can say that he is selling USD by buying 1 British pound. So we're going to calculate the ask price of USD GBP equal to 1, right? So ask price of USD GBP is equal to 1 over the reciprocal of the, the ask price of USD GBP is reciprocal of the bid price of GBP USD, right? Okay, so you understand here, the bid price from dealer point of view, he is buying British pound and selling USD. The ask price from dealer point of view, he's selling GBP and buying USD, right? Okay. So when we talk about because this is GBP USD, when we talk about the USD GBP, just memorize it that we are going to take the reciprocal of 1 over, this is ask, we are going to take the reciprocal of the bid, this is USD GBP, we will take the reciprocal of GBP USD, right? And then you have to do the same thing for bid price of USD GBP, okay? Now, triangular transaction. What was triangular arbitrage? So we have the triangular arbitrage in meaning that we can do 2 transactions, or we can do 2 transactions to get the cross rate, right? So cross rate meaning that there is no US dollar here. So GBP euro, meaning pound is in denominator and euro is in numerator. So 1 pound is how many euro? Equal to pound £1 equal to how many USD into 1 USD equal to how many euros, right? So here, let's just start in with the iPad example, where in store A, the iPad is $2, right? While in store B, iPad is $4. So here clearly we can see that iPad in store B is overvalued, while iPad in store A is undervalued, right? So what would be the strategy here? You have to pay $4 here. You can pay $4 here and store A, and you can get 2 iPads. And then you can sell those 2 iPads here in store B, right? And you will get $8, right? So this is how we call triangular arbitrage, because here we are involving the 3 currencies. So, right? In this case, so USD will cancel and we will get the GBP EUR. So similar is that in case of GBP EUR, what we're going to say is that here we have 1 GBP is equal to $2. And in store B, we have 1 GBP is equal to $4, meaning that GBP is undervalued here while overvalued here, right? So in this case, what we are going to do is that we are going to sell high and buy low, right? So what you are going to do is that we are going to buy low. So here we are going to buy we are going to buy GBP2 at store A, and we are going to pay $4, right? Okay, and then we are going to sell GBP British pound 2 to get $8 at store B, right? So what we are doing here is that we are buying at low and selling at high, right? Okay, so here we are buying 2 pounds and we are paying $4, right? And then we are selling those 2 pounds that we have bought at low value right here, and we are going to get $8. Now your profit here is £4, right? This is riskless profit, okay? Now, lecture 2 on the 9th of October, we're going to work through normal distribution, where you calculated which we use for forecasting, right? First, we have to calculate the mean and standard deviation, and then we can use that mean and standard deviation to forecast the future, right? So here, first of all, appreciation and depreciation we're going to talk about. So we have the pound dollar at t equal to 1 minus pound dollar at t divided by pound dollar at t. So this will give us the percentage change in the exchange rate. So we can use that percentage change in the exchange rate to calculate the future rate at t plus 1, right? Using that change and using the spot rate, okay? So we have the distribution from the page 58 to 60. If you go to the lecture 2, we can calculate the expectations of the euro dollar at t plus 1 equal to spot rate of euro dollar into 1 plus the expectation of the changes. That means this is mean, right? And we can calculate the standard deviation of euro dollar at t plus 1 is equal to the spot rate of euro dollar into standard deviation of, here we can use this the change, right? So we have the 68, 95, 99 rules. For 68, we have 1 sigma. That means this is the range. Between this range, we can say that the value falls in between this range. Either we can say that this is 95% bound, that means plus minus 2. And for 99% bound, meaning plus minus 3, right? So we're going to solve this question in chapter 3Q5, which is based on this. And then we have forward premium and discounts on pound against dollar. So we get this 360 by n. This is annualization factor, right? And then pound dollar right? So forward minus spot pound dollar divided by pound dollar spot rate, okay? So we get the forward premium or discounts here. Right. Now, chapter 2, question 3. As a foreign exchange trader, you see the following codes. Yeah. So as a foreign exchange trader, you see the following codes for Canadian dollars, US dollars, and Mexican peso. So that means that we are getting one. So this is the dollar price of Canadian dollar, US dollar price of Canadian dollar. This is the Mexican peso price of Canadian dollar, right? And this is the Mexican peso price of US dollar. So here we have this one, CAD USD, right? We have this one here, this one, CAD MXN, right? And we have this one here, this one, USD MXN. Now, if we have to calculate the MXN USD from this point, we have to calculate, let's say, MXN USD, right? So what we would do is we're just gonna take reciprocal of the USD MXN, right? So in the same way, you can do for every exchange rate, right? So gonna take the reciprocal to get the one USD is how many, one USD is equal to how many Canadian dollars. So one Mexican peso is equal to how many Canadian dollars. And here one Mexican peso is equal to how many US dollars, right? Then the question is asking you that, is there any arbitrage opportunity, right? And if so, how are you going to exploit it? So what we are going to do is that we are going to take the cross rate, right? So we are going to take the cross rate, which is CAD MXN. So, right, Mexican per Canadian dollar. And then what we are going to do is that we are going to compare it, or we will write as a versus this to Canadian. Here, one Canadian dollar is how many US dollar into one US dollar is how many Mexican peso, right? So dollar will be canceled and we will get one Canadian dollar equal to how many Mexican pesos, right? So here we already know this value, right? So that is 6.4390. This is the market rate we have been given here, 6.4390, 6.4390. And then we know that the one CAD is equal to how many USD? That is here. And we know that one USD is how many to Mexican peso? Here, right? So if you multiply this, you will get 6.1686. So if you compare this with this, it means that here, this one is higher than this, right? So it means that Canadian dollar here is overvalued, right? So Canadian dollar here on the left-hand side Canadian dollar is overvalued, while on the right-hand side, Canadian dollar is undervalued, right? And then we can say opposite for the Mexican peso. The Mexican peso here is undervalued, while Mexican peso on the right-hand side is overvalued, right? So we can say these two here. Now, how to exploit it? So these indicates arbitrage opportunity because this one is, higher than the left-hand side is higher than the right-hand side, right? So there exists arbitrage opportunity. And how to exploit it? What we are going to do is that we are going to sell the overvalued and buy the undervalued, right? So we are going to sell the overvalued CAD, one Canadian dollar, at the rate of this 1 Canadian dollar equal to 6.4390. And we are going to buy the Mexican peso, which is equal to 6.4390. So we are going to buy the Mexican peso here. Then what we are going to do is that we're going to sell the Mexican peso here, the overvalued Mexican peso at implied CAD Mexican, okay, through triangular transaction. How we are going to do it? So let's say we are here. First of all, what we have done is that we have 1 CAD equal to 6.439 Mexican peso, right? So we bought the undervalued and we sold the overvalued Canadian dollars. Now in this right-hand side, what we can do is that we have the Mexican peso, while on the right-hand side, we said that Mexican peso is overvalued. So what we are going to do is that we are going to sell that overvalued Mexican peso, right? And we will get US dollar, right? Now be careful here. We have USD MXN, right? Okay. And we are selling Mexican peso to get USD. So we can write this as 1 USD is equal to, so 1 USD is equal to 8 point, sorry, this is getting something wrong. I just want to, okay. So we are going to get, so we can write here that 1 USD is equal to 8.7535 Mexican peso, right? And we have Mexican peso now in our hand. So what we can do is that we can say that 6.4390 Mexican peso is equal to 1 over 8.7535 into 6.4390, right? So this is the expression we are going to get, 1 over 8.7535 into 6.4390. So meaning we are getting USD 0.735591. Now, you have USD in your hand. What you're going to do is that in this transaction here, you're going to sell the USD and you're going to buy Mexican peso here. So selling USD to get, sorry, not Mexican peso, we were on this side. So selling USD to get Canadian dollar, right? So here, in order to sell USD, so we have 1 USD equal to 0.7047 Canadian dollar, while taking the 0.735591 US dollar, how much Canadian dollar we are going to get. So we are going to multiply this with the reciprocal here, and we will get the Canadian dollar 1.043846. Now the difference is that we started with 1 Canadian dollar and we end up with 1.043846. So this difference is your riskless profit. This is how you're going to exploit this arbitrage opportunity, right? Okay. So that was question 3. Question 4, chapter 2, question 4. The Mexican peso has weakened considerably relative to dollar, and you are trying to decide whether this is a good time to invest in Mexico. Suppose the current exchange rate of Mexican peso relative to US dollar is 1 USD is equal to 9.5 Mexican peso. So that is the Mexican peso price of USD. Your investment advisor A at Goldman Sachs argues that Mexican peso price of the dollar will be 15% higher relative to the dollar next year. What is the advisor A forecast of exchange rate in year one? Okay, so what is the advisor A saying that? First of all, we have this USD Mexican. Okay, that means that 1 USD is equal to, so that means that 1 USD is equal to 9.5 Mexican peso, right? And then the advisor is arguing that the Mexican peso price of the dollar will be 15% higher relative to dollar, right? So here, the forecast is about that they think that USD Mexican will be 15% higher next year, right? Okay. So which is, spot rate is 9.5. So how we are going to calculate the forecast of this exchange rate in a year one? So we get the spot rate 9.5 into, so we get the spot rate into 1 plus the change. So this is the 15% change that they have given us. So 1 plus 0.15. So you're going to multiply and you will get the forecast of the USD Mexican as 10.925, right? So remember here we are talking about USD in denominator and Mexican peso in numerator. Now, that was A. So B, let's say advisor B states that the dollar price of peso will be 15% lower next year. Now here, remember that we were talking about the Mexican peso price of the dollar, meaning $1 equal to this much Mexican peso price. Here we are talking that the advisor B is saying that the dollar price of peso will be 15% lower, meaning that 1 peso would be equal to 15% lower dollar price, right? So here we have to calculate MX and USD, right? In order to get the forecast of B forecast of MX and USD after a year, what we have to do is we have to take the reciprocal of the 1 over 9.5, right? So that we can get that 1 USD is equal to, 1 Mexican peso is equal to 0.105263 USD today. And then we have this percentage change, right? So this is the spot rate into the percentage change. 1 plus, this is minus. So because this is saying that it's lower, will be 15% lower next year. So it's minus 0.15, right? So you will get the here reciprocal into 1 minus the percentage change, and you will get the answer for this 1 Mexican equal to USD after a year. So this is the forecast. Right. Now this is in terms of the US dollar price of Mexican peso. What if we say that what is the Mexican price of US dollar? So we are again going to take the reciprocal of it, 1 divided by MX and USD, and you will get the 11.1765. So that's the answer, right? So this is the forecast of advisor B, and that was the forecast of advisor A. Okay, so that was question number 4. Question number 5, chapter 2. Deutsche Bank quotes bid-ask rates of dollar per euro. And so this is bid price of dollar per euro. And this is ask price of dollar per euro. And this is the bid price of yen per dollar. and this is the ask price of yen per dollar. So here it should be yen, right? What would be the Deutsche Bank's direct bid and ask prices of yen per euro under no arbitrage, right? So in other words, we are going to say that Deutsche Bank is buying 1 euro for $1.305, and the Deutsche Bank is selling 1 euro for $1.3007, right? So the Deutsche Bank buys $1 for, here we are saying that the Deutsche Bank is buying, since bid price here, so Deutsche Bank is buying $1 for 104.30 yen, and the Deutsche Bank is selling dollar for 104.40 yen, right? Okay. Now, so this is the bid price, and this is the ask price of dollar to euro. Okay, so what the dealer is doing is that the dealer is buying euro by selling dollars, right? We already discussed this, and selling euro to get this dollar, right? So we have discussed this part and this part. As I told you, this is the bid price, this is the ask price. So here it is, here the dealer is buying euro, here the dealer is selling euro, right? So here the dealer is buying yen, and here the dealer is so this is sorry, here the dealer is buying dollar and dealer is selling dollar, right? Now, the bid price of euro GPY, right? We have to calculate that. The dealer is buying euro 1 by paying how many Japanese yen? So the question is asking you to calculate the bid ask prices of yen per euro. So euro in denominator and yen in numerator. So we can go through all the triangular transaction here. This is our cross rate. Okay, we have to find the bid price of this one, euro Japanese yen, equal to, we can do this euro USD into USD Japanese yen, right? So buying euro for how many, selling Japanese yen. Here we are buying euro 1 by selling US dollar, and here we are buying US dollar by selling how many Japanese yen, right? So bear in mind, from the dealer point of view, this is buying euro, so you will have the bid price of euro GPY. This is buying euro by selling USD, so this would be the bid price of euro USD. And since here we are buying USD and we are selling Japanese yen, so we are going to say that we have a bid price of USD to Japanese yen, right? So given that, we need to find bid price of euro USD. What is the bid price of euro USD? That is here, 1.305, right? And given that, we need to find what is the bid price of USD GPY. So the bid price of USD GPY, meaning that we are buying US dollar and selling Japanese yen, is 104.30. So by multiplying this, you can get the bid price of euro Japanese yen, 135.6422, right? Okay, so this is the bid price. Now we have to calculate the ask price of yen per euro, meaning we have to calculate the ask price of EUR JPY, right? In order to calculate the ask price of EUR JPY, meaning that the dealer is selling euro to buy how many Japanese yen? Going through the transaction again, we have on the left-hand side, EUR GPY is equal to, So this is cross rate, and this is equal to that we are going to sell euro to buy US dollar, right? €1 to buy US dollar. And then we are going to sell the US dollar to buy Japanese yen. Okay, so this would cancel and we will get euro Japanese yen ask price. So here we have to find this one on left hand side. So right hand side, we need to look at the ask price of euro USD. So what is the ask price of euro USD here? This is the ask price of euro USD, right? 1.3007. And then we have to look for the ask price of USD JPY, which is the ask price of USD JPY here, 104.40, right? And then we will get the ask price of euro JPY, 135.7931, right? So this is the ask price of euro JPY, and this is the bid price of euro JPY. So that's the question 5 or chapter 2, right? And now chapter 3, Q3. As a currency trader, you see the following codes on your computer screen. Just a minute. Let me check. All right, okay. So question number 3. As a currency trader, you see the following codes on your computer screen. So you have the exchange rate euro, USD per euro, Japanese yen per USD, and USD per pound. Our spot rate is Q1 here. Remember that we have this forward basis points are denoted as X and Y. So this 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 6 month, these are forward basis point, right? So our X here is this 1.20, and Y here is 2.5. And we are saying that these are in basis point, right? So what we're going to have is 0.0020 and 0.0025, right? So this is in basis point. We will work on this now. So this is spot rate. These are forward rates, okay? What are the outright forward bid and ask codes for the euro USD at the 3-month maturity? So first of all, what is the question asking? Euro USD. Where is euro USD? That's here, right? So this is euro USD. Our spot rate is this 1.0435 by 45. And then the question asking 3-month maturity. So for 3-month maturity, we are here. And that means we are going to use this, right? The forward rate. Now, here in case 1, we can see that this is X, right? So this one is X divided by Y. So X is 75, Y is 90, right? Meaning that X is less than Y. So in that case, we can get the forward bid code is equal to spot bid code, this one, plus the X. So what is the X here? So X here would be 0.0075, right? So we will get the $1.0435 per euro. That is the spot bid code, plus X is $0.0075 per euro. And we can calculate the forward bid code, 1.05110 per euro. While forward ask code here would be, since this one is the ask, right? So what we are going to calculate is that we are going to do this 1 point. So this one here would be 1.0445. So this is replacing the 35, 3.5 was in numerator, and we have 4.5 in denominator. So for ask code, we are going to use 1.0445 per euro. And here, what is y? Our y here is this, right? So in basis point, meaning this is 90, so we have to write this in 0.0090. Right? So we will get the forward ask code here. Yeah. Okay. Now, that was part A. Okay. So we have forward bid and ask codes for your USD, right? At 3-month maturity here. Now, part B is asking you if one of your corporate customers calls you and wants to buy pounds with dollars in 6 months, what price would you dealer quote? So as you are now dealer, and we are saying that the customer wants to buy pound and he is selling dollar. So from dealer perspective, right? From dealer perspective here, what we are doing is that we are selling pound, right? And we are receiving dollars, meaning we are buying dollar here, right? So customer buying pounds, meaning we are selling pounds. Customer selling dollars, meaning we are buying dollars, and the maturity is 6 months. So what would be the rate here? So what the dealer is doing, dealer is selling pounds, right? So we have this GBP USD, right? Our maturity is 6 months, and our spot rate is 1.6623 by 33, right? And the forward rate is 120 by 130, okay? So we can get the forward ask code. So what is the spot ask code here? So spot is the one in denominator, 1.6633. So we are replacing this 23 with 33, right? And then plus the 6 month forward rate. So 6 month forward rate here, this one is in denominator. So we have 0.0130. So not 120, but 30, because we are talking about the bid. We are talking about the ask code, right? So here we get the forward ask code, $1.6763 per pound, right? So this is our from dealer point of view. Okay. Now question 3, chapter 3. Okay. Now question 4, chapter 3. So in question 4, chapter 3, Intel is scheduled to receive a payment of 100 million yen in 90 days from Sony in connection with a shipment of computer chips that Sony is purchasing from Intel. So Intel is the US company dealing everything in US dollars, going to receive profit in US dollar. And Intel has contract with the Sony, and the Sony is going to pay them 100 million yen in 90 days, right? Suppose that the current exchange rate of yen price of dollar is 103, and that analysts are forecasting that dollar will weaken by 1% over next 90 days, right? So it means that dollar is going to depreciate, right, by 1% over the next 90 days. And the standard deviation of the 90-day forecast of the percentage rate of depreciation of the dollar relative to yen is here, 4%. This is our standard deviation, right? A, provide a qualitative description of Intel's transaction exchange risk, meaning that what is the foreign exchange risk here involved for Intel, because they are going to receive the payment for sure of 100 million yen in 90 days. But the risk is that, so what is the risk? Risk is that they are based in US. This is US company, and they are calculating everything in US. So their profit will be in US, right? So what is the foreign exchange risk here? So if Japanese yen is depreciating with respect to the USD significantly and unexpectedly in the next 90 days, the Intel will receive fewer USD, right? So that's the foreign exchange risk, right? Okay. Note that. Now, be careful that what is an analyst's forecast? Analyst forecast is that we are saying that if, okay, first we are saying that the foreign exchange risk is that Japanese yen is going to depreciate to US dollar, right? But the analyst forecast is that the dollar will weaken by 1% over the next 90 days. So if this is true, is that a good news to Intel? Okay. First of all, Intel is based in US. They are going to get 100 million Japanese yen for sure. Their foreign exchange risk is that if the Japanese yen depreciates, they are going to get fewer dollars. This is the foreign exchange risk. But analysts' forecast is that it's not the yen that is depreciating. In fact, it is the dollar that is depreciating. So in that case, what do you think is a good news or bad news? Well, if this is actually realized, if this actually happened, then it's a good news for Intel. But we don't know what is going to happen in the next 90 days for sure. We are not sure that this is exact 1% that is going to really happen, that dollar is going to be weakened by 1%. So this is risky, right? Okay, so that was the qualitative description of Intel's transaction exchange risk. B, if Intel chooses not to hedge its transaction exchange risk, what is the Intel's expected dollar revenue with the belief that analysts are correct? Now, they believe that, okay, the analysts are correct, that we are not going to have depreciation of Japanese yen. Instead, we are going to have depreciation of US dollar, right? So we are not going to do any, we're not going to hedge our transaction risk, right? Transaction exchange risk. So in that case, the analysts forecast that this is weakened over the next 90 days. So we have to calculate the expectations of the yen per dollar at T90. And how we calculate this? Equal to spot rate of yen per dollar into 1 plus expectation of the changes. So what is the change here? This is given 1%. And it says that dollar is depreciating. So we're gonna put minus here, 1 minus 0.01. What is the spot exchange rate? Spot exchange rate is given here. So that is 103 yen price of dollar. So from here, we will get the expectations of yen price of dollar at T equal to 90, right? So Intel expects to receive 100 million at T equal to 90 into the expectations of GPY USD at T equal to 90, right? So we have calculated here, we already know this is a fixed amount they're going to get, but we need to calculate this amount in dollars, right? So we have to take the reciprocal of this, we have to take the reciprocal of 1 over, we have to multiply it with 1 over 101.97, right? So reciprocal of here. of this one over divided by this expectations of yen price of dollar at equal to 90. So you will get $9,80681, right? So this is the dollar revenue of the Intel. If they're not going to hedge the transaction exchange risk, believing that analysts are correct. Now, C, if Intel does not hedge, what is the range of possible dollar revenues that incorporates 95% of the possibilities, assuming normal distribution, right? So here we have to assume that the distribution is normal, right? Okay, and we have here mean, yeah? And we say that the bound is 95%. So we remember the bound 68%, 95%, and 99%. So if 68%, we have from here to here 1 sigma. If it is 95%, we have here to here 2 sigma. And if it is 99%, if it's 99%, we have from here to here, 3 sigma, right? So the questions is asking you to compute 2 standard deviation, 95% bound around the expected forecast, right? So we have calculated the expected forecast at t equal to 90 for the yen price of $101.97, right? So we have 101.97 here, okay? And we can calculate the standard deviation of yen per dollar at t equal to 90 is equal to spot rate. Our spot rate is given here, yen per dollar. And we can put the standard deviation here, which is given here. So the standard deviation of 90-day forecast of percentage rate of depreciation of dollar relative to yen is 4%. So this is our standard deviation, right? Going to put this and we are going to get the standard deviation. This is forecast at t equal to 90 for yen per dollar. Okay, so 95% bound means that we have this expected forecast, okay, minus 2. So why 2? Because we have here, this one here is 95%, right? So we have 2 into standard deviation, right? This is the lower bound and this is the upper bound, okay? So upper bound plus 2 into the standard deviation, we will get this lower and we will get this upper. So what is here is that here we have, so this one is lower bound. So this is 93.73 and this one is upper one, 110.21. This is the upper one, right? So this is the 95% bound we got using the expected forecast. This is expectations of the yen price of dollar at equal to 90, given the standard deviation of 4%, right? Okay. So this one is 95% bound. Now, 95% bound of possible future values for Intel receivable. Now we have to calculate in dollars. So what we are going to do is that we are going to multiply the 100 million Japanese yen with GPY USD at t equal to 90. In other words, we are going to take the reciprocal of here, 1 over 110.21 and 1 over 93.73. We have calculated here this one, right? So this is USD GPY, where we have to calculate GPY USD. So we are taking the reciprocal of USD GPY USD GPY to get the GPY USD, right? So this is 95% of GPY USD bound of reciprocal. Okay. I hope I try to to I just tried to explain things clearly, and I hope you understand. But if not, then please just drop questions via email, right? And we are going to answer there. So